Pluto in Aquarius. It's coming. It's happening on the 21st, 22nd at the same time as in Human Design Gene Keys, we experience the beginning of the mandala, the start codon, Gene Key 41. It initiates us into a new cycle. And that happens, ironically, at the same time that Pluto is entering into a brand new sign, which he will stay in for the next 19 or so years, although there's a little retrograde period in September, October, November, which has us taste the taste that we're having right now. So Pluto's a slow-moving planet. We are in the frequency of 29 degrees. That is, and 30 degrees is the end of the cycle. So 2959, the sun and Pluto will be in 2959 in a week, and signaling really the karmic end of this cycle of Capricorn. Pluto has been in Capricorn ruling structures in government and legal documents, titles, the way we call ourselves. Really this wrecking ball to destroy some of the structures by unearthing the truth of what needed to be seen so that we can create something new. And so that really humans can take our power back, because that's what's happened. You know, in Pluto and Capricorn, we have a lot of power in governmental structures, beliefs in government. Like, I believe the government can save me. I mean, I remember that kind of in some elections, right? Like, if we elect this right candidate, all will be well. And then everything was just shit like it was before. And so the people get to take their power back. And that's certainly Pluto in Aquarius. Aquarian is more grassroots. It's more the people. It's humanitarian on one side. On another side, it's very electrical. It's AI. It's new technology. So isn't that going to be an interesting juxtaposition of technology and AI with grassroots power? And that's what's happening. We're going to take our power back. We are taking our power back. And that's going to become even deeper and deeper. But at this ending point, it's the point of karma. So you have to pay the piper. Always we have to pay the piper. And that is really taking stock of how far have I come, and really, like, where did I mess up? You know, when we look at like failed relationships, for example, and I say failed, which I can also add even good relationships, those that ended, past ones. We could look at businesses, opportunities, anything where we really had to learn a hard lesson, because that's what Pluto likes to do, is teach us hard lessons by unearthing the truth. Like, maybe you thought that you were right and another person was wrong. And then later you realize that actually they weren't really that wrong. It's kind of that. It's this realization that, oh my God, I chose that. Maybe you're in a relationship with a narcissist. And it's so easy to blame narcissists because they're the bad actors, right? They're the assholes. But it takes two to tango. So why did I choose that? Like, I didn't choose that. You chose that. That's what I say to people who chose a narcissist. Like, what is it in you that chose that? And I think there's a lot of awareness coming out now that people who have really low self-esteems and have not taken their sovereignty and their power, who really don't believe they're at choice, make a good match for a narcissist. So it's kind of that review. And really, we're asked to do it not in a brutal way, but in a neutral way. Just to see clearly, like, if we're getting ready for the second act, Pluto in Aquarius, moving signs, who are we now? Who are you now? What did you learn? I learned a ton about giving my power away to spiritual traditions, gurus. I learned a ton about the way that I love, the way that I give and receive love. I mean, huge mother wound healing that happened. I mean, so I can really take stock. And I used to blame my mother a lot, but now I don't blame her at all. Like, I can see it clearly, the patterns that are in place, and I can see them living inside of me. And I've made some peace with those patterns. So that's that karmic thing. Like, now that I know that, I am responsible for that. That's my world. I'm responsible for that. So it's on me not to recreate it. And if I do, shut it down. I was just talking to a friend yesterday who was telling me about this new relationship he was in and how there were certain signs of the same thing, but not as bad, but just certain signs of the same thing. And he just acted differently. He just knew where his leakages of power, this is Pluto, were. And he was like, oh, I'm onto it. And before I would have never said anything because I didn't want to lose the person. But now I just said, hey, yeah, I get that. That's your truth. And I'm going to step out while that's your truth. And I was like, wow, I can tell he did the work, because it's on him now to live the truth. And it's on you now to live the truth. So what truths have been revealed to you that you must integrate and live? That's the point we're at right now. And we're going to be doing this for the next week. And then Pluto moves into Aquarius, 0 degrees. Holy crap. That's the initiation, the beginning point. It's equally as powerful. Those endings and beginnings are so powerful. They're super bumpy often. Pluto's not a personal planet. So astrologers say, yeah, you don't really feel that in your life. I don't know. I'm kind of like, I've felt some Pluto transits before and they're insane. They're just like wrecking balls sometimes. But Pluto to me is honorable. I love consciousness astrology because it's honorable. It's like, yeah, but I'm only wrecking the thing that needs to be wrecked so that the truth can come forward. And it's all a matter of perspective, right? I can create the story that it didn't need to be wrecked and I was like a victim of that and I was screwed. Or I could see and lean into what's so like, yeah, that's ending. So there's completions happening, but they're not surprising completions. These things have been brewing and brewing and brewing. And you're at this point. You know, I talked to someone else who was like, I'm finally ready to leave my partner. Finally. Like I knew this when we met, like 19 years ago, which interesting would be like right around, I think around 15 years ago, but like interesting. Like I went the whole Pluto cycle with this person. And as Pluto's exiting, I'm like, oh yeah, no, this person was like, I'm partnered with a narcissist and I get it. And I don't actually even have any animosity, but it's just not for me anymore. My soul is dying. It's dying and it needs to be expressed. And now I'm on the side of expressing my soul and not on the side of being in partnership at all costs, because I'm no longer afraid to be alone, no longer afraid to be myself, no longer afraid to be responsible for me. That right there is the gold. That's the Pluto transformation, because Pluto doesn't like knock you out for no reason. It wants you to get the alchemy, like alchemize this shit into gold. And so if you could get yourself back, that's the path, right? That's what mythic legends, any kind of Lord of the Rings, it's any kind of good story has this legend where I have to go through the trial. I have to fail. I have to cry. I have to go to the dark night of the soul in order to come out going, holy shit, I have myself. And as myself, I'm good. Like you can't take that away from me. You can't, no one can. You can't imprison that. That's freedom. That's the ultimate freedom. And that's what I believe in consciousness astrology, that the energy of that planet, the representation of that archetype is to destroy what needs to be destroyed for the phoenix to rise, the true self to rise. And Capricorn is really like, what is your mission? Why are you here? What's your purpose? It's that goat that wants to get to the top and know why it's here. And yeah, it's a story, but it's a good one. It's a myth that you're willing to live, not the old myth that I'm fucked and I'm a victim. That is like not a myth that you're any longer willing to live. I'm willing to live the myth that I have a mission, I have a purpose, I have a message, I have a reason for being here. And so this is the moment, everyone, where your true power is found in the truth. So do a reckoning, do a reconciliation, look at your life and scour those areas, particularly where Capricorn is in your chart. Everyone has Capricorn. It occupies a house. And just that can be a good starting place to just start like, what have I learned over the last decade and a half? Who have I become? What am I now responsible to? Because that is going to elevate you to the next place. And from there, it's your new normal. From there, you get to move and create new things. And we are in the energy of the new. I love that. So Capricorn is like, get your North Star. Find your drishti. What's your mission? Aquarius is like, it's all going to be new. We got new technology, new ways of thinking, new methods, new thoughts. So your power, your influence is based on the level of responsibility that you're willing to take for what you just learned, what you lived through, and really be honest with yourself. Don't make other people more honest with you than you are with yourself. If someone gives you some feedback, just take it in and play with it. It doesn't mean you're good or bad. It's feedback. Could I see their perspective on this? Even if it was like an ex, and they said something, especially if it triggered you, that's so good because it gives you a chance to look. And then that gives you the power to make a choice, to make a difference, to change something up. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I was on my phone too much, right? I didn't really put energy into the relationship like I could have. Yeah, I blamed everything on you. And actually, I wasn't responsible for the fact that I chose you. Just those truth-telling things are just like those simple truth-telling things. No, but they're beautiful on the other side when we have this benefit of 2020 hindsight and this benefit of 29 degrees Capricorn with Pluto just saying like, look, tell the damn truth in love, in compassion. And, I had to do a self-forgiveness exercise today. And I do that walking the labyrinth, and it literally takes me 11 minutes, the entire thing. It's just walking in. I'm just naming the things that I was holding against myself, walking in, holding it against myself. I was doing that while I was doing some tapping. And then it kind of morphed into, now I'm going to forgive myself. So then when I got to the center, I'm cleansed. I've spoken the truth. I've gotten rid of that knot inside or that anger that's masking the shame or the guilt or the not worthiness. And then in the center of the labyrinth is where we can receive that divine inspiration. And then we can walk out making new commitments. Yeah. Okay. Now I have my power and I don't have to choose that anymore. I don't have to blame other people anymore. I get to set my course, and I'm not alone in setting my course. I'm setting my course with the divine, with unseen support. You get what I'm saying here? Pluto's humbling, very humbling. It's not intended to sugarcoat anything. This is not Venus. This is the wrecking ball. So next time around, how would I do it differently? Maybe you spent all your money. Maybe you made an investment and you didn't even do it. Maybe you didn't put your will behind it. Maybe you self-sabotaged. Just like naming that. As Byron Katie says, those kinds of revelations are for the next time. They're never to Monday night quarterback your past. They are for the next time. And so as we go into this new frequency, Pluto's saying, okay, now you get to walk your talk. You get to be in alignment. Check out Gene Key 61's video because I talk more about the fragmented self and becoming congruent with yourself. So let us end here. There's a lot that we get to look forward to. There's a lot of energy happening. And we have the grace. We have the space over the next week. And of course, longer. Whatever we need is happening for us, but we have the space to do this consideration as we take this step into the new year. Next week marks the new year in human design gene keys and also this Pluto moving into Aquarius. So I'll say more about that on the next video. Thanks for joining me here.